Now we're in the center row. We're going to start up here. This is the 4th row in on the palette. It's slightly darker than this one right here. So if you have a darker skin tone, this would be a good blush for you. Lighter skin tone, this might be a good blush for you. Or if you have a lighter skin tone, this would be a good contour for you. Totally matte. It's also a good transition color for a darker skin tone. It's got that rosy undertone to it, and that's swatched right down here. You can see it's really got that kind of rosy undertone, but again, it's still matte. Going into this color here right underneath it, this is very, very similar to Kid. It's kind of a mix of MAC's Kid and Soba. It's just a little less gray than Kid would be here swatched, and hopefully you can see there is slight shine to it, but I wouldn't really call it a satin finish. It's just got a little shine. Next is this color, and from far away it looks nice, but when you get that, when you get that up close, you see it's again one of those ones with all that gold glitter in it. But it is a warm brown color. It's really got a lot of orangey undertones to it, which I'm not a huge fan of with my browns. Look at all that glitter there. Yeah. Down here at the bottom, this color is pretty similar to Blackberry by MAC. It's just a little more on the gray side, and it's a matte color again, but unfortunately it's not as pigmented as I wish it was. It depends on the base you use, of course, and you can build that color up and make it more pigmented. Like, I really expected that color to be a little better. Now, I put on like 3 layers of it so you could even see it. Going on to the opposite side of the palette, we're going to go to this line here. This is the 5th row over. And this color here that I am pointing to, it has that matte finish again with that gold glitter, unfortunately. This would also be a nice blush. Unfortunately, it has that glitter, so I don't recommend using that as a blush. That one is right here, and you can kind of see the tone. Like, it would be a great blush, but too much glitter in my opinion. Almost a salmon-y color. It's very pretty color, just that glitter. I hate that glitter. Underneath that color, we have this color, and this is almost an exact dupe of Cork by MAC. I think it's an exact dupe, personally. It's a matte color. It's good, like, transition, warm transition color, and it's slightly orange is the only thing about it, but it depends on the look you're going for and your skin tone. It works. Here you can see it's a fairly good contour color depending on what you use it with, and if you have a darker skin tone, a great transition for you as well. Next is this color, which is pretty much one of my favorite colors in the palette. I personally think that that is a great dupe for Antiqued by MAC. I think it's pretty darn close. It's very bronzy looking, so it's almost the color of Bronze by MAC, but I think Antiqued was just a little closer for me. It's a satin metallic kind of a finish. I think it's more metallic personally. It's just gorgeous. It's smooth, it's soft, it goes on really easy, and it's right here. I didn't think it really even needed that big of a swatch, personally. It's just a really pretty metallic-y color. It's not super chunky, not too crazy glittery. It's just really, really, really nice. Right underneath that, we have this color, and this is very similar to MAC's Corduroy. I think it's almost an exact dupe. It's a matte dark brown, and it's got a little bit of a gray undertone to it. Depending on your skin tone and your hair color, this might be a great brow color for you. This color right here, you can see it's just really nice, flat, basic brown color. I think going to the second from the last row in the palette, this would be the 6th row in the palette. This color right here, it's very nice. This is a good skin tone color. Unfortunately, it's very sheer, and it's kind of sheer for me. It's hard to see. This works good if you use it over NYX Jumbo Pencil or some sort of a white base, I find. Color right here. This is very similar to Retrospect by MAC. It's just a little less metallic-y, and unfortunately it is that matte color with the glitter in it. Ugh. Here's the swatch. You can kind of see there. It's pretty yellowy, orangey looking. Then we have this color right here, which is actually a quite nice color. It's almost exactly like Swiss Chocolate from MAC. I think it's pretty much exact enough to call a dupe. Matte brown with kind of a reddish warm undertone. It's smooth, it's soft, it's pigmented, it goes on really easy. It's almost a reddish color. I think it's very bricky to me. Down here, right next to the darkest color in the palette, this is pretty much an exact dupe, in my opinion, for Handwritten by MAC. And it's a dark matte brown. It's a great crease color right there. Again, really nice color. If you have a really dark skin tone, you might want to use one of these guys as your contour color. For the last row of the palette, row 7, this top color here, a lot of people said that it was just like Beauty Marked. Well, I think it's much more like Shadowy Lady. And when you swatch it, it's pretty much an exact dupe of Shadowy Lady, not Beauty Marked. It's pretty much black and then has a bunch of pinkish purple glitter in it. It's really pigmented. And just to kind of show you when it's blended out that it does look more like Shadowy Lady, you can see here it looks a little more like Beauty Marked, but when you blend it out, it becomes Shadowy Lady. This next color, this is very similar to Era by MAC. It's just slightly lighter and less pigmented, unfortunately, but it's very pretty still. To use this as an all over the lid color, smoky color. It's really actually a very pretty color. All in all, I think I use that one quite often from this palette. Next, we have this color right here. And this color is very similar to MAC's Sketch. A dark brown with a satiny finish, and then it does have some kind of copper glitters in it. Kind of interesting, something different. Smooth, it's very pigmented. Same thing though, you do get quite a bit of fallout with that color, so it's this color right here. And just because of all the glitter, if I'm gonna need that color, I usually go to this one, because if you can see, it's very similar to that color there. It's just got that kind of coppery gold glitter in it. Here now is this color. Everyone calls this the matte black of the palette. It is not matte black. That's not matte black. It's very close to matte black. I think it's most like Typographic by MAC. Glitter, gold glitter in it. But it's not black. It's gray. You will get quite a bit of fallout, so I will warn you about that color. And here it is, and just so you can see, like, blending it out, it's gray. It's not black. That's all of the colors in this palette. As you could see, unfortunately, it looks like you get a really wide range of colors, but in fact, there are a lot of colors that are dupes for one another. You do get a good variety of finishes and all of that, and a good mixture of colors for the price. However, I think they could have done a lot better on this palette, and knowing what they can do on like their 88 colors and their 120 colors, I just don't see why they haven't taken the time to improve this product a little bit more. I really don't like when people call it the bridal palette. It is not, in my opinion, a bridal palette. If you're doing bridal makeup, I don't really recommend using anything with glitter, especially if it's falling out, because, I mean, photos, no. Please don't do that. Because most of the lighter colors in this palette are somewhat of fails, I find that you're kind of forced to make darker looks, which is a little unfortunate in my opinion. And if you want any, I wish that there was a matte black in here and a matte white in here. I think that's really lacking from this palette. So all in all, am I mad that I bought this palette? Absolutely not. I think for the price, I got quite a few colors. But considering the price of a MAC shadow is $14.50 or something like that, it's definitely a great deal. However, I just think that they should have done a little bit more research and tried a little harder before they put this palette out. I do recommend it though if you're just starting out. If you're not terribly picky, if you don't own a lot of higher end shadows like Inglot or MAC like I've tried, then I'm sure you would love this palette. If I got this when I first started doing makeup, I'm sure I would have loved it too. But just knowing what is out there, it's a little disappointing. And I'm not trying to just compare it to like MAC and Inglot. Comparing it to like the 88 palettes, like it's a little bit of a letdown for me. The thing I didn't like about this palette is most of the colors in here were warm tone colors. And depends on your skin tone again, but a lot of people can't wear as many of the warm tone colors. So you really have to be careful. So if you already own a lot of higher end makeup, this would be a waste of time for you. That's just kind of my opinion. So I'm kind of giving this a mixed review. I would give it a C if someone had to ask me for a grade. If you had to ask me for a score, I would give it a 6 out of 1 to 10. I mean, it's an okay palette, but it's certainly not the best thing I ever bought. And some people say that they go crazy over it. So I hope you appreciate this review. I think there's a lot of confusing information out there in the beauty industry about this palette, and I just kind of wanted to clear things up, in my opinion, what I think of this palette, and hopefully I gave you some good swatches that are going to be useful for you guys. That's going to be it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and also keep watching because in a couple weeks I'm going to start my next contest. Bye!